Well, it's time for some more Ducati love. G'day everybody, welcome back onto the Ducati again. So today's job, when I replaced the clutch slave cylinder, we had that gator that was no good. I've got a new one of those, and I have a new front sprocket, a new back sprocket, and a new drive chain. So that's the plan. The preferred method for doing this would be to get yourself a DID chain breaker and riveting tool. My chain riveting tool isn't strong enough just to press these things apart. So I'm going to go all stupid on it with a grinder. And funnily enough, like, I hardly use this at home anymore. I've got my one at work, which is a 5-inch. It's only a 4-inch. I don't have a bloody grinding disc here. So I'm going to try with a very worn out sanding disc to get those rivets down. All I've got to do is get the heads off them, and then my chain breaker will push it apart happily. So I've sort of, this isn't an advised method, but I've just sort of covered up the area. I'll try and direct the sparks away. I don't want any hot metal getting onto the paintwork or anything. So you've got to be careful. Probably be wearing safety glasses too, although I can't see if I wear safety glasses. I could wear goggles. Alright, well, it's super tempting just to break that chain and take it off. What I want to do is actually crack the bolts on the... remove this cover and crack the bolts on the front sprocket while the chain's still attached. So I can put it in gear, and that gives me be nice if it would go into gear. Oh man, that's really tight. Must have some Loctite on it or something. Chock-a-block with Loctite, and I mean chock-a-block. Looks like something Del Boy did. Okay. Alright, so now we can turn our attention to popping the rivets out of that chain. Alright, so this riveting tool, it's not the most expensive one, it's not the best that you can buy, but it's not too bad. Put the guide in, drop the rivet pin in, rivet pushing pin in. Spring first, put the spring on, then you put it in. You got a little ball bearing, which of course is easy to lose, and then you push this pin in. because oh, you only need to take one pin out to break it. I always find it easier working on the sprocket. But we've managed to land it. I might just give it another rotation. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. Yep, so I've now moved it away from the cush drive at the back there. That fits on better. There she goes, you'll feel it. Right, I can now screw that through by hand, so that pin is completely removed from said chain. We retract the tool. And our chain is free. Now if you were just replacing the chain and not the sprockets, you could connect the new chain to the old and just pull the thing through, but we're replacing everything. And this old chain is as scabby as a bat's ass. Now on inspection, this sprocket really isn't terrible. The teeth aren't curled, there's no ridge here. I could reuse this. The front one does have a bit of curling, of that you can see the profile. The profile is slightly curled over. However, the rear sprocket isn't suffering. Moving along to the front, we've got a fairly big mess in there, so I need to clean that. Alright, we've had a bit of a clean and a couple of decisions have been made. I have taken all that Loctite off those, cleaned up the retaining plate. I'm going to pop this off now, this slave cylinder. And replace this gaiter, which is obviously there just to protect the shaft from crap flying off the chain. Good design. Pity they couldn't get it right the hell away from the chain. There we go. Almost like it's on back to front. Is that the right way to go? I reckon it is. I think that's how it's supposed to fit. Right. New front sprocket. Just going to put one bolt in for now while we do the chain. Good enough for the girls that I go out with. Speaking of which, I've made the decision to not change the rear sprocket. I've cleaned it up, and it is absolutely perfect. There's no wear on this sprocket. So it just doesn't make sense. I'd have to pull the back wheel out, remove it all off the cush drive, put new chain on, new sprocket on, torque it all back up, put the wheel back in, all of that nonsense. Sucks for you, but for me, it just makes sense. I'll keep the other one. I'll keep the new one I bought as a spare. And before you crap on about me being lazy and all the rest of it, that's bullshit. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to change it. All right. So now I'm going to lay out the old chain, lay the new chain out beside it, and cut the right number of links off. And more to the point, I'm going to count them. You can see how worn this chain is. It's flexing sideways like a snake. I'm going to count the plates. I'll count the plates, and then I'll count the same number of plates for the new chain. 47 links plus the con link, the master link. But just to be sure, I'll count it twice. Six, 7. 47. Master link. And one chain. Let the counting begin. 1, 2, 3, so 6, 8, 10, 12. 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 32, 4, 6, 8, 42, 4, 6, 7. Blow me down and call me windswept. It has the right number of links on it. Isn't that just fan-damn-tastic? However, we have a dilemma in that the old chain had so much stretch in it that this one won't meet. Always best to try and join these on the sprocket. So we need to back off our axle. Crack that lock nut. Wind the adjuster in. There we go. All right, now we can join the chain. All right, this is our master link. Our connecting link. And it's pretty critical that we get this right. They come with they give you a riveted one, and they give you an emergency clip together one. We shall be using the riveted one. All right, so they give you a choice. You can either go clip together or rivet together. You only get one plate, and that's so what we'll do is we'll rivet it, because it's better in my view. All right. Yep, they give you a bit of grease. So what you want to do, I shouldn't be saying what you want to do. What I should be saying is what I do. We rip the little grease packet open, and our little packet of O-rings. We put a liberal amount on the pin. Put 2 of the rings on. These are actually, I think they're an X ring, aren't they? Don't be frightened to put a bit of grease on there. Oh. and then there's the ridiculous. Alright, so let's pop that up there. Slide him in from and back. Nah. Andy, come on. That's better. I mean, I've got a void there now I can work with. And put some grease on the front. Rings. And the front plate. Now the front plate is riding out. Righto, now we need to set up the riveting tool. First thing we're going to do is use this plate on here to press the pins through. Checking with the dial caliper to see that it isn't over squashed. Just try and make it about the same as the other ones. It's a little tighter, but should come back fine. Now the what we have to do is make sure that we don't over or under spread that rivet. So that's measuring 5 millimeters. 5.1 actually. And what they recommend is a flare of 0.5 to 0.7 of a millimeter. So we put our anvil into the back of our riveting tool, and we put our riveting pressing pin, which is a spiked ball bearing, into the other side of the tool. And you can only do one pin at a time. Now that anvil is there to locate on the back of the pin and protect the back of the pin. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give it about a half turn and then test and then check it. I'll just test it at that. Of course, it helps if you've got the right size spanner, but I don't. Not home anyway. That's only just spread at 0.1 of a millimetre, so I've got plenty to go yet. So that's 5.5 millimetres, which is roughly where we need to be. The dial was out by 0.1. These will be a 5mm pin. So I just want to go a little bit more, try and get to 5.6mm. Okay, we're 5.7, so that's gravy. That's right where we want to be. Yeah, this reads 5.1. So. Okay, now the other pin. It's 5.4 millimetres. $5.7mm. Right. Now we need to tighten that up, tension the chain. But before I do that, of course I want to tighten the front sprocket, put the sprocket cover back on, and then I'll just pull the chain up because Ducati recommend that you have 25mm of flex, but that's with the bike sitting on the side stand. I'm going to give it 25mm of flex sitting on the paddock stand, and then I'll check that later on the ground. I don't know that there'd be a lot of difference. Now the manual I've got, God bless it, doesn't give you a torque setting for these bolts. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of blue Loctite on it, 1 drop. In fact, it's a pretty big drop and it's probably enough for both bolts. They actually don't even recommend in the manual that you put Loctite on these. They do mention it on the rear wheel, but you only need a little bit in there. It doesn't give you a torque. I'd probably guess it around about somewhere between 12 and 20 inch-pounds, but it just says secure, tighten securely, whatever that means. So I'll just pull it up. And fasten securely. And replace my nice clean carbon fibre. It's a bit gangrenous in the back where they made the carbon fibre happen. Cover, Lovely. Meanwhile at the back, I'll just, of course we want it to be even on both sides of the bike, whatever we do. It's just before half on this side. Right on the half mark. Oh no, a bit past it. Right, so that one's right on the half mark. This one's a little bit forward of it. But that's going to make the chain too tight. So we go back three flats, and that's sort of putting us in that 25mm range now. Where are we? It's more like 30mm. So come back one. It's a little bit, sort of almost right there. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yep. So that's our 25mm. Oh, it says even between the sprockets, doesn't it? So where's that? 60, so 225, 255. Oh yeah, about where I was measuring it. Alright, so that's where we need to be on this side. So I'm just going to, because the other side's very, very close, within a millimetre or so. So I'm just going to nip up the lock nut and not move the bolt. And we'll just put a little bit of weight on that, just nipped. Kind of where we want to be on this side, which is, in saying that, it's saying that I'm saying that this is roughly 1.5 millimetres, 2 millimetres, or millimetre and a half. That side of centre, which is the same as the other side, and we're assuming that this scale is accurate. Yep. 25 millimetres. Alright, this guy's got to go down to 70 or 76 Newton meters. Alright, new drive chain. Happy days. That other one was pretty gangrenous. We've got 25 millimetres there. I'll put it down on the side stand and test it. It may, I mean, it's sitting on the swing arm. It's not like it's... I'll put it on the ground, see if the sag has any effect. I don't think it will. but I'll do what they tell me to do and check it properly. Got the gator on the shaft for the clutch slow cylinder. Another little job taken care of. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll be catch you next time on Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now.